So, Mean Girls is out on the 17th of January. It is Tina Fey's new adaptation of the musical, which is an adaptation of the original movie that came out in 2004, starring Lindsay Lohan. Raj has been to see it. I haven't, because I was meant to go. I got stuck on the tube, and there was a fire on the underground, and it was all a bit chaotic. But you made it.
Yeah, but don't you hate it when the London Underground just ruins your plans? I hate that so much.
Really annoying, because I was looking forward to it. Anyway, you've seen it, so is it any good? That is the ultimate question, I think.
Well, I like the original Mean Girls, and I'm quite a fan of Lindsay Lohan. Don't know why, a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I had pretty low expectations going into it, but it was on my list to see because I did like the original. And a lot of people have been asking me what I thought of Mean Girls, and I think Mean Girls is a lot of fun, but if I were to sum it up really quickly, it's basically almost a word-for-word remake of the original, but with kind of crappy songs.
Crappy songs? Oh my god, that doesn't sound good. It is a musical, but the trailer's not really giving that away. I don't know whether that's because they don't want to reveal that, because that might put people off.
Yeah, well, it is a new trend in Hollywood right now, because they produce a lot of musicals, but you'll see like with Wonka and The Color Purple, like those aren't marketed as musicals either, but you get there, and if you don't really read into the films too much, it's like, surprise, song and dance, jazz hands.
Just tits and teeth.
Having said that, though, Mean Girls is fun. I mean, sometimes the dialogue on the songs is hard to follow, but I walked out of the theater not remembering any of the songs that they sang.
Oh,
so
dude, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, there's not a real, like, catchy song that, you'll identify with Mean Girls. It's kind of just the story of everything through song. I would say, musical to spoken dialogue ratio, probably about, I'd say 60-40. 60% being like spoken dialogue, 40% being musical.
Oh, that's not too bad then, because I think if you're, I mean, to be honest, when I found out that it was, had that musical element, I didn't think that was such a strange thing, because I think fans of the, well, not fans of the musical, fans of the original movie, obviously 2004, I think it would kind of complement that, because I think it's that kind of audience, surely.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be a fan contingent. I mean, they wouldn't have made this movie if the musical version of it wasn't a hit. I just kind of went in and I was like, I don't really like these songs, but it's not really about liking the songs. It's more about, listening to the story through song. And when I say that it's like word for word remake, I'm like, I didn't go back and watch the original, but it felt like I was watching the original, just with new faces and a few extra choreographed dance numbers. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about those new faces, because we've got Jon Hamm, who plays an embarrassing sports coach turned sexual relations counsellor, which is such a weird concept, but I think Jon Hamm could do that. I mean, to be honest, if I wanted to talk to a sexual relations counsellor, it would be Jon Hamm.
Well, I have to say, a lot of the big names in this film don't have really big roles, so he has a really tiny role, if you ask me. But like, Tina Fey has even, a lot of it's her concept and everything. It's like she even has kind of a small role in it. Busy Phillips, same thing with her.
Yeah.
It's really focused on, the four core Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And I really liked the lead actress who plays Katie Heron. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name right or not, but it's Angourie Rice.
Yeah.
Really good, solid performance. However, one thing about her performance really I just couldn't shake. It's like, she is almost like the mirror copy of Amy Adams. Like, it just kind of unnerved me throughout the whole movie. I'm like, she looks and speaks exactly like a young Amy Adams.
Yeah.
I like Amy Adams. I'm not, I'm not like it's a diss or anything, but I'm just like, are you like the incarnated daughter of Amy Adams? Like, the similarities are just so incredibly striking that it kind of took me out of the movie sometimes, because I kept wondering.
Yeah. It's not a bad comparison.
Yeah.
To be fair. Tina Fey once again plays the role of the maths teacher. She's Ms. Norbury. So you're saying that's quite a small role, because she's done the screenplay for this. So obviously it's got Tina Fey's stamp on it to a certain extent.
Oh, I mean, out of all the names in the film, she has the biggest she has the biggest role indeed. And she has a couple like laugh out loud moments, which I really like. There's a moment, maybe it's a spoiler, but it's like she's gonna bust into a musical. She's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
I want to see that. So you're saying Angourie Rice, she's taken the role that was first played by Lindsay Lohan. So is that a good performance? Like, considering it's kind of about her. I mean, obviously it's the Mean Girls, the collection of Mean Girls, but you know, she's got that big role. She's got big shoes to fill.
Well, you know, I think Mean Girls really put Lindsay Lohan on the map.
Yeah.
So I don't think like Angourie Rice's version of that character is better than Lindsay Lohan's. It's probably not, actually, but she does, you know, she has a big job to carry the whole film, and I think she does that pretty well. Maybe this is spoiler too, but I've seen it on the interwebs already. But Lindsay Lohan does make an appearance at the end of the movie, and I'm just
surprise
like,
cameo.
Lindsay.
Yeah, there's a couple of cameos, isn't there? There's a musical one as well. I'm not revealing who that is, but people will know if they're a fan of her. She's in there as well. It was quite an expensive film, I think. Maybe, I mean, for a big blockbuster, maybe not so much, but $36 million. That's quite a lot of money put into it. Does it look expensive?
I think for an average blockbuster, that's a pretty normal budget. So it's got to make about, you know, 80 million to break even. So I think that's a perfectly fine budget for it. The whole movie did feel like a very expensive music video in some spots, but that's not a bad thing either. Considering now, I will have to say, out of everyone that we just mentioned, like the standout character for me is Bebe Wood or Bebe Wood.
I love her, and she was in Love Victor. Yeah,
she's been in everything lately. Like, that girl is on fire, and her portrayal of Gretchen Wiener, is far superior to the original. So, you know, when we're talking about who really added a lot to this experience, for me, like, the clear winner was Bebe Wood.
I was going to ask you about her because I thought she was amazing in Love Victor. I mean, she was one of my favourite characters in that series.
Yeah. I mean, she's kind of typecast a little bit of the same like character throughout everything that I've seen her, but this, she gets to play, you know, a plastic, and she doesn't really like being a plastic, you know, but she's like, you know, one of the Heathers that doesn't like being the Heathers, you know. It's like she's stuck in that role and she can't get out. So I just thought her whole performance is great. So if you're going to go see this movie, you know, watch out for Bebe Wood. Love her. And she really like made the film worth watching for me.
She's really good. So you're a fan of the original movie, Lindsay Lohan. To be honest, I haven't seen it all the way through. I started watching it and fell asleep, which is terrible admission. But yeah, I never saw it back in the day. I mean, I might have done, but I probably don't remember seeing it.
I mean, come on, Phil. It's a classic. It's a classic. I mean, my favorite film of all time is Heathers. So any variation on the Heathers theme, I like a lot. So I think this is maybe like the 2000s or late 90s version of Heathers. So, yeah, I mean, I loved it. But my problem is, too, when I keep watching the films, I get like Mean Girls and Clueless cross-referenced in my head.
Very similar genre, isn't it?
Yeah, when I was watching the film, I was like, oh, this is going to happen. I'm like, oh, no, that's in Clueless.
So do you think fans that loved the 2004 movie will like this? I mean, you say it's very similar. Obviously, the addition is the music, but they've kind of got it. It's almost like a, I suppose, colour by numbers version, isn't it? It's like they're trying to do everything the same, obviously with the different cast. Or
very much the same characters, just different faces, the same plot. They didn't really deviate too much, if you ask me. It felt like a reboot with just new faces and kind of crappy songs. But
yeah. So was it the songs that spoilt it for you? If the songs were better, would it have been a higher rating for you?
I am not saying the songs are bad. I'm just like, there's no like memorable moment like Frozen or Wicked. There's no like song that stands out as being emblematic that you would associate with this. I mean, for me, it just felt like the songs are just a vehicle to tell the story.
Yeah, but shoehorned.
The only thing that makes it different is the songs, really. So if they didn't have the songs, then you'd just have a carbon copy of Mean Girls, the movie. So.
Yeah. So it's out on the 17th of January. It is Mean Girls. I'm sure that many people watching this will be going to see it. It's probably one of the films that people are looking forward to this year. For feel good. I mean, because you want to feel like that at the moment, because there's so much doom and gloom in the news. You just want a bit of escapism.
Yeah, and one thing I did notice too is they're really capitalizing on the pink pound and the pink
Barbie
praise that Barbie sort of generated. So they're really riding the coattails of that. So
yeah.
But that's it makes it more of a cinematic event. So I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of blows up the next couple of weeks once it's out.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Is it funny?
Yeah, definitely funny. I chuckled a few times, and I went and saw it at the Leicester Square IMAX, which I've never seen a press screening there, but that screening was packed.
Yeah.
Like everyone wanted to see that film. So
it's a hot ticket. So what's your star rating?
I'm going to give it a solid 3.
Wow. Okay. I thought it was going to be higher.
No, I just...
But 3's all right.
A forward mean I would go see it again. So
yeah.
I felt like once is enough. So yeah, but I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's bad.
Good to see you, Raj. And if you want to check out more of our content, check out the video on the screen now. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up as well. And thank you for watching. See you next time, Raj.
Jazz hands.